Welcome back to 191 Media, guys. I'm Micah.
And I'm Matt, and today we're going to check out the movie Psycho Goreman. This movie was directed by Steven Kostanski and stars Nita Josee-Hanna, Owen, Myre, and Matthew Ninaber. The plot follows two siblings who accidentally uncover an ancient alien overlord and the gem that's required to control him. They decide to use this gem to their own enjoyment and control the alien overlord.
All right, Matt, so what did you think of the gem Psycho Goreman?
It really was a gem, in my opinion. I had no expectations going into this. I didn't watch any trailers, nothing. I had no idea what this movie was even about other than the plot summary we had looked up. Definitely extremely surprised in the best way. This movie, really good. Maybe it's so bad that it's so good. It's on the level of The Room. The Room's actually an actually bad movie, whereas this is actually a funny movie with a funny story. Everything this movie does is done really well, and it doesn't try to be something it's not. So I thought overall this movie was really good. What were your first thoughts on it after watching it?
Yeah, I liked it too. Like you mentioned, it knew what it was trying to be. You could tell there was hardly any money for this movie. I think it was, I don't even know how much money it took them to make this movie, but I think I saw the box office, it made about 96,000, something like that. That was the last time I saw. I really liked the movie, pleasantly surprised, and it was really funny at parts. And the whole premise of the movie was basically this alien overlord guy. He's buried, and they ended up these two kids find this gem to control him. And it's just you think it's gonna be something it's not at the beginning, but then when it goes through the motions and starts in the beginning, you realize, okay, this is a funny movie. The characters are likable. I even like the kid characters. Usually they're kind of cringy, but there was the sister and her brother who played off each other pretty well, and there was tons of funny parts. Characters worked well together. I guess you could say it's a bad movie, but it's an enjoyable movie. I know what they were going for with it. I liked when there was battle scenes and stuff like that, and I thought it was kind of good for the money they had. But parts of it reminded me of early 2000s, 90s, 2000s movies. The CGI was really bad in parts of those. I thought it was good for what it was trying to be, for sure.
It was done in the best way possible, and even though the effects were really bad, I had no problems with it because it wasn't trying to be really good. It was doing exactly what it wanted to do, and it portrayed the thoughts. They got across the VFX perfectly.
I think it made fun of itself a lot too, which is probably what the director was going for.
Oh, definitely. A lot of the actors are I've never seen any of these actors before. Even the acting was very, very questionable for a lot of almost every actor was to be honest, pretty bad, but it was bad in the way that was actually good because it fit the overall theme of the movie where everything's trying to be exactly what it's supposed to be. So even though it was really bad acting, really bad special effects, I thought it was a quality movie.
One thing too that I wanted to talk about with the plot as well is, so they uncover this ancient overlord guy whose name is Psycho Goreman, comes out from the earth. I guess he had been buried by these things called the Templars, I guess, which are another race of species within the universe. So they uncover this guy, he comes out, and this young girl had taken this gem which controls him, gives him all his powers to destroy the universe, and without it he can't do anything. So basically she just controls him the whole time, and he's trying to be all dark and brooding, and then she just basically says, he's this whole thing, you're controlling me with the gem, I need it back. And then she's just telling him what to do, tells him to sit down, or tells him to spin someone around, or kill someone. And in the beginning it's funny because he's I just want to kill you, and then just later on it's almost they learn to almost like each other, or begrudgingly enjoy each other's company. The other thing I wanted to talk about too is I like the costumes in this movie. That was one of my favorite parts of the movie, and even the makeup and costumes for Psycho Goreman and some of the other characters looked really cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of, even though there was some CGI they needed to pull off the effects, there was mostly, as long as they could do it, practical effects. The effects looked really disgusting, really good, really real, and that played into the humor. I found the humor of this movie was actually, it was hilarious, but it's also really dark at the same time. Psycho Goreman will liquefy somebody essentially, but keep them alive, so it's their whole body is melted, but they're still alive so they can suffer for eternity. But the way they kind of pull it off is like hilarious, even though that sounds really messed up. There's one guy near the beginning, some kind of like thug or some gangster or something like that, and then Psycho Goreman just like liquefies this guy, and then later on one of the main characters, the brother Luke, just accidentally like knocks over this guy, and the guy just gets splattered to a huge pool of blood, and his mouth is just like, thank you for killing me. Everything was great about this movie.
And I think, yeah, Psycho Goreman turns this poor kid into like this, almost like a brain, like a big brain, kind of.
Oh yeah.
With like tentacles. It was really weird.
That was weird, because it's like nobody acknowledged that.
Yeah.
Like the guy's parents acknowledged that he was a brain now. Like no one in the whole movie did. It was just like, he's a brain.
Well, I think the kids acknowledged that he was a brain, and he was like, it was so sad because he had to like literally just drag himself to wherever he needed to go. Like you mentioned, yeah, no one else really cared, and they never switched him back.
Pretty messed up, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it before. I think some of that bad acting kind of plays into a movie like this. That makes sense because it's like some of the actors aren't really well known, but at the same time, if people are trying to be more serious with this movie, I don't think it would have worked very well. I mean, there's even like there's some funny parts where I think the girl brings Psycho Goreman a magazine of some guys. It was like a fireman magazine or something like that.
Right, she was checking out the dudes in there.
The guys in there. It was like a hunk calendar thing almost. And she's like, oh, check out this magazine. And then Psycho Goreman's like, I don't like this. She's like, check out all the hunky guys. He's like, I don't like hunky guys. Or maybe I do.
Everybody should watch this if you're over the age of 18, because this movie is not for kids, even though the main characters are young kids. Because there's tons of gore, tons of action, tons of swearing, tons of messed up humor.
Compare like a movie like Psycho Goreman to like The Room. The Room was trying to be a good movie, and Psycho Goreman just kind of knew what it was trying to be and wasn't trying to be serious. The Room thought it was like Tommy Wiseau thought The Room was like Citizen Kane or something like that. But like Psycho Goreman knew exactly what it was.
This movie, definitely recommend. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
We'll catch you guys in the next one.